Hey YouTubers, Runzo here. Runzo64 is the YouTube name. Just want to take a minute and talk to you about making bio bricks or paper briquettes or whatever they call them here. Excuse me, I lay down here and these things. Now you can make them different shapes and different sizes, and there's a company out there that makes a little press. And you put the goop in here, which I'll show you in a minute, and you push the handles down and squeezes the water out, give them a couple days in the sun, and they dry out. About 20-25 bucks for that press there. And I guess they work alright. And again, of course, the bigger they are, the longer they'll last. So, of course, being a poor man, stuck in a wheelchair here, so I kind of have to do things on the economy budget. So, I'm going to give you a little demonstration on how I make these. I spent $5, went to Walmart, excuse me, and I picked up this little contraption. Here's the box it came in. And it's just a hamburger press. It's, I think I paid $4, as seen on TV section of Walmart. And it's called Stuffs. It's made for making stuffed hamburgers. Now, I've tried a couple other different hamburger patty press things here, and seems like this one works the best for me. I think it's because it's two sections. It's got one to press the middle, and then there's another section where you can press the outside edges back down for sealing your stuffed burger. There are other types out there. I've used this one before. I really didn't like this one as much. It seemed to take a little more effort, and I just didn't like it. But to each their own. I've actually done them by hand. If you don't want to go spend the $5, like I said, being on the economy version here. So this one seems to work the best for me, so that's what I'm going to use today. And of course, like I said, being in the wheelchair, I'm kind of have difficulty getting around. So I've seen people do this with like a 5-gallon pail outside, and they fill her up with water, and they throw their newspapers and cardboard and light cardboard, the 12-pack soda things or the 12-pack beer containers. Those work. Those burn pretty good too. But for this method, I'm just going to kind of stick to newspapers and envelopes. You know, light paper, so I can do it in the house here. And the deal with the bucket outside takes, a couple, 3 days, maybe longer, before the starches in the paper start to break down. So I kind of do it the lazy man's way here, and one of those instant gratification. I didn't want to wait the 3 or 4 or 5 days for the stuff to start to break down, and so I kind of cheat. And I use a blender, which, if I move the camera now, I'll kind of give you, sorry for the jiggle in here, go set this up so you can see what I'm doing. Put that there, cell phone camera, so pardon me, I'm probably out of the picture. I'm going to set this up here, and that should give you a pretty, maybe if it doesn't all fall over. Hopefully that gives you a pretty good show of all the goodies here. Now, just give me a second. Let me look at the screen. Okay, we got the blender in view. So, good old cheap $10 Walmart blender. Fill her up with some water. I've had a lot of thoughts about this, you know, trying to do it the most economical way. I should say my well is up the hill from me here, up in the mountains of New Hampshire. So the water's gravity fed, so I'm not using a water pump there. The electricity that I'm using for the blender, excuse me, is made outside with the solar panels. So I'm not sure the exact power draw on this, but I make 1.2 kilowatts an hour, which would be about 1200 watts. So, and this thing only draws probably about 200. So I'm making more electricity than I'm using. So I don't feel too bad about that. So that's really not costing me anything. Alright, let's get on with this. Now, being a cheap Walmart blender, doesn't have a lot of power. Like I said, it's probably... Alright. Are we recording? I think we're recording now. Good. Alright. Ran into a hiccup. Of course, the phone decided it was only going to record a few minutes and then gave up on me. So, let's continue. Making these patties. I take my blender. I fill her up with some water. I take a piece of newspaper. Crunch her on in there. Come on. Mind you, I keep this off the motor part for safety reasons, being I'm sticking my hand in there to get the paper in there and wet. That'd be a good idea. About 10 seconds, maybe, of the blender going. I wait until the blender's running smoothly, and you'll be able to tell by the sound when everything's all broken up. Plus you can see the, you know, it needs to be a clear, all the same consistency. So off we go. And that's that. So we take that off. Dump it into the colander. And it's not like we've got to get rid of all the water, or even, you know, a fair amount of it. You get this stuff too dry, and it'll want to stick in the hamburger patty maker that I use. So I don't mind that it's pretty sloppy. Some people like it dry, you know, especially if you own one of those fancy presses. Good old hamburger press, $5 at our buddies there at Walmart. I take this mix. If you're diabetic, you probably want to use gloves, being there's a lot of starch that's here. And if you're doing this for an hour or two, that starch will eventually get in through your hands and might raise havoc with your sugar levels. So, just a passing thought. I don't have a problem with sugar levels, so close my little thing. This is where I squeeze out the water. And there you go. Open her up. Out the bottom. Voila. One patty. Just like that. Now here's one that's dried. This was about 2 days in the sun. You can see the color difference. And these burn about 10-15 minutes in this form. You know, these aren't the thickest. I can make them a little thicker here. So anyway, that's how I make these little paper briquettes. Now mind you, I'll go and take 3 or 4 colander fulls and I'll put them in the big bowl, just, you know, the production line. I'm quite amazed. That's probably 1 sheet of paper, maybe a sheet and a half of newspaper to make one of these. I was very surprised. I had me a nice little pile of paper over here, and I've made 24 bricks patties last night. I made about 60 yesterday, and I still haven't gone through this, I don't know, maybe 2-inch thick stack of, you know, newspapers folded up, and, you know, I'm amazed at how little paper I'm going through. I thought for sure I'd be going through a lot more. But anyway, there we go. Now the paper towels that I use, I'll put them right in the blender, grind them up. and burn them later. Alright, let's take the camera and let's go outside, and I'll show you what I got outside drying in the sun. Oh good, it still is recording. Alright. Well, welcome outside. Here's the ones we made earlier. Made these last night. So you can see they're kind of a grayish color, which is actually the color is because of the ink that's on the newspapers. And here's the ones from the day before. Get a better camera view this way, maybe. And these are, we're starting the second day, and these are already pretty much dried, ready to pack. I'll give them the rest of the day out here in the sun. It's a nice sunny day. And those are all newspapers. Let's do a little reach here. This one here is cardboard. You can see the different color. This is dried. This was a 12. It's still a little bit of moisture in them, but that's cardboard. The 12-pack soda beer 12 packs. All right, let's do a burn test on these patties. I take 4 of these. I'll put them in a Ziploc bag, small little Ziploc plastic bag with 4 patties, and I'll put about a 1/4 ounce of alcohol on each patty and leave it in the Ziploc bag. And they make great fire starters. I've had a lot of people asking for them. A lot of neighbors here have wood stoves and such. So let's do a burn test. Here's one of the thinner patties I've made, and have about a 1/4 of an ounce of fuel on. And let's give it a burn test. See how long they last. And we'll do this in real time. So, get the leaves out of the way. Being fall, we don't need any fires. These things are great for starting, fire in your boiler outside, or your fireplace, or in your wood stove. What's nice is when these burn, and they burn up, they almost turn into like a charcoal briquette. They quite a hot bed of coals. So usually about 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes, because I'm not making them very thick. At least not the fire starter ones that have the 1/4 ounce of fuel on them. Most of them I don't put fuel on. Once the fire's going, you can just throw in the other ones that you made on top, and off you go. Actually, if I turn that grill, you might get a better view here. Yeah, there we go. I'm going to roll back here and shut off the porch light. They're starting to get a little red around the edges there. Like I said, they kind of burn like a charcoal briquette almost. Once they're going, they get a nice hot bed of, coal going to them. So don't be surprised because you see the flame going out. There's still a lot of heat coming off of that. And that'll keep going for, well, we'll find out. When it does all burn up, it turns into a very fine ash, so it's easy to clean up and clean out. Probably be best if you put them in your wood stove near where the air is going in. Get a little breeze blowing on them. It's very calm night. There's not a breath of wind out here. It's so quiet out here tonight. Jeepers, I guess I should have been like YouTube, other YouTubers there and put some rock and roll music blaring loud in the background. Some of that music on some of them YouTube videos, it's just a little too much. Now it looks like the flames are out for the most part, but if you notice, that's still quite a red hot kind of ambery coal thing here. Let me get down here. Burning very hot. Like I said, just like the charcoal briquette almost. Doesn't look like much, but that will definitely start your fire for you. Especially if you put it in the front of your stove there where your air comes in. That's me blowing on it a little bit just to show you it is still quite hot. There's probably another maybe 5 minutes of it burning like that. Not sure if the camera's picking up those glowing ambers or not. It's kind of just a little circle of coals. Still going. The ones that you don't have fuel on would last a little longer. And this was one of the thinner ones too, so. Oh, I think it's going to fall over. And as you can see, they do make a great little fire starter. Well, there you go. So, I don't know about how long that was. This was real time on the tape video, so you can see from how long it was there. At least 5 minutes, maybe 10. There you are, folks. I hope you enjoyed that. I got to put a pointless plug in here for imakemygas.com. He has a little still, which is where I get the alcohol from, about 160 proof. I get about a gallon, a little bit more than a gallon, out of 2 eggs of sugar, a thing of yeast, and a little bit of thyme. And imakemygas.com's, he's got a little countertop distiller there. So that's what I was using for an accelerant there. So I hope you guys have a great evening, and I will talk to you later. Thanks for watching.